Moving from Marlowe Playground to pre-production testnet represents a significant step toward real-world deployment. This transition becomes appropriate when your contract design has stabilized after multiple simulation iterations. If you've run through various user scenarios in the playground and the contract consistently performs as expected, it's time to consider testnet deployment. Another indicator is when you need to test wallet interactions and transaction flows that the playground can't fully simulate. The pre-production environment provides a complete blockchain experience, including network latency, transaction confirmation times, and actual wallet connections. Additionally, consider this move when you need to validate how your contract interacts with other on-chain components. The transition is also warranted when your financial model requires testing with more realistic parameters and timing conditions than the simplified playground can provide. Before migrating to pre-production testnet, ensure you have the necessary technical infrastructure in place. This includes setting up a Cardano node or using a trusted API service that connects to the pre-production network. While running your own node provides maximum control, API services can simplify the process for teams with limited technical resources. You'll need testnet wallets configured for team members. Several Cardano wallets support pre-production, including Eternal and Nami. Each team member involved in testing should have access to a wallet with sufficient test data, which can be obtained from testnet faucets. Familiarity with the Marlowe CLI or Marlowe Runtime is essential at this stage. These tools enable deployment and interaction with contracts outside the playground environment. Documentation and examples for these tools are available in the Marlowe documentation. Begin the migration process with a structured testing plan. Document the expected behavior of your contract under various conditions and create specific test scenarios that validate each critical path. This discipline prevents disorganized testing that might miss important edge cases. An incremental approach helps isolate issues and builds confidence in the deployment process. Once basic functionality is confirmed, progress to more complex contract structures. Maintain separate development stages. Deploy to the playground for design iterations, then to pre-production for integration testing, before considering mainnet deployment. This staged approach manages risk effectively. Document all issues encountered during testnet deployment, as these insights are valuable for final optimizations. Finally, test the complete user journey from wallet connection through contract completion, including error cases and recovery procedures.
After you have sufficiently tested your smart contracts in the Playground simulation tool and also making use of the Marlowe Runner, it's time to start up the testnet and see all the possibilities on the Cardano blockchain if you're operating a node for yourself. So I'm using the Windows subsystem for Linux, as discussed in the installation guide. And then in this project's GitHub repository, a lot of useful commands are available. For example, to start up a node after installation, use this command here. And we have to select the network. So for mainnet, you would go into your mainnet folder. And right now we are using preprod, which is the preferred testnet for Marlowe deployment, which is also supported by Marlowe Runner. I'm going into the folder, and then I am starting to run the node like this. And it will first validate your database, that everything is as expected. And after this has finished, it will start syncing the node to the current tip of the blockchain. And as I haven't done this for several days, it will probably take a few minutes to get to the current state of the ledger. And that will also give us the chance to try some commands of the Cardano command line interface, which, by the way, has very thorough documentation on the Intersect MBO website. So right now I'm on github.com /intersect MBO /Cardano -CLI. And there is a help file here that can also be queried from the command line. And the usage is always Cardano -CLI followed by the command. And a lot of things about key management, minting tokens are explained on the official Cardano docs. All the different queries for past Cardano eras, keys. It's a lot that you can do with the command line interface. It gives you direct access to the blockchain without any third-party pooling. So that's really useful to have. And how are we doing? We're still validating. So let's wait until this it's 100%, and then it will start to sync the node, and then we can use the command line interface to query where we are in the process, how many percent we have synced. It's just one of many command line commands, but it's quite nice to show your syncing progress, as for example for mainnet it might take hours or even days. So you definitely want to start with that command to know how much time you will need. Okay, so we are getting there. Started opening Ledger database. Okay, looking good. Great. Another quick check. And off we go. Syncing now. So what I'm doing is I'm starting a second terminal. CD preprod. And as the preprod is now exposing your system to the blockchain, you can start entering commands like Cardano -CLI style, as we have seen in the intersect documentation. So the sync progress is 99.5%. So for a preprod is incredibly fast to sync the blockchain, and in the same style, Cardano -CLI, and then the command, whatever you want to do, you can do.